All right, so we're back. And today, we're diving deep into alt season.
Okay.
We always talk about Bitcoin on the show.
Yeah.
And I thought it was time to look at, what else is out there.
Yeah, for sure. I'm seeing
People talk about alt season all the time.
Hmm.
And, I'm always curious, what does that really even mean?
Yeah.
And you sent me over some great research on this.
Yeah.
And, I think we can really, figure this whole thing out.
Yeah.
So first of all, maybe you can just, tell us, for anybody who might be new to the show,
Sure.
what exactly is alt season?
Well, Altseason, basically it's a period of time where the alternative cryptocurrencies or altcoins, they start to see really significant gains and they actually start to outperform Bitcoin.
And so is this something that, just sort of...
It's interesting.
How is it random or...
I was looking back at the history of altcoins.
Okay.
And, I think you could say that the first one really happened back in 2014.
Oh, wow.
And that was driven by, the sort of, the newer altcoins at the time, Litecoin, Dogecoin.
Yeah.
And
that's a while ago.
Yeah.
So there's definitely like there's a historical pattern to this.
Yeah, a historical pattern for sure. Yeah. And we've had several, cycles of these, of altcoins kind of collectively surging.
And so is it?
And it's driven by a lot of things.
Okay.
You have technological advancements, you have regulatory changes.
Yeah.
And then just the fear of missing out.
Yeah,
which is always a big one.
Right. Yeah, that makes sense. So I mean, it seems like if we understand these patterns that have happened in the past, maybe we can kind of get a sense of...
Exactly. You can start...
when the next one's coming.
Look at what are the factors that precede these periods of growth.
Okay.
And one of those big ones is Bitcoin's performance.
Okay. Interesting.
So, when Bitcoin starts to stagnate, or, it enters like a correction phase, then investors, they get a little nervous. They start looking for alternative assets.
Right, so Bitcoin?
To park their capital. And that's when altcoins can often take center stage.
Not doing so hot. But he's like, all right, where else can I put my money?
It's like a flight to safety, but in this case, it's a flight to potential.
Yeah, it's interesting.
Right.
I like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, like looking for those,
Absolutely.
faster speedboats.
Exactly.
Okay, so Bitcoin, we can look at that.
Yeah.
But what are some other things that might signal that alt season is on its way?
So another big one is market sentiment.
Okay.
You start to see it on social media, places like Twitter and Reddit. They become these hotbeds for, discussion and speculation about, which altcoins or, the next big thing.
Yeah.
So
it's just like hype? Or is there actually something to that?
It's a little bit of both.
Okay.
There is some hype for sure.
Okay.
Social media can definitely amplify that.
Yeah.
But, savvy investors, they're also looking at, the data.
Okay.
They're looking at things like transaction volume. They're looking at development activity on the blockchain, and they're looking at the real world utility of these altcoins.
Okay, so they're not just
So it's not just about
buying into the hype.
It's about
There's actual
fundamental
stuff happening.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
So it's about, separating
Be careful.
the signal from the noise.
Yeah.
And finding the genuine potential amidst all the excitement.
So market sentiment.
Yeah.
You can look at that, but also
and then there's also
fundamental things.
Technical indicators.
Okay.
And these can offer some really valuable insights as well.
Yeah.
Things like
give us some examples.
The RSI, the relative strength index.
Okay.
And the AMCD, the moving average divergence.
Now that's getting a little technical for me.
Yeah. A little bit.
Could you maybe just break those down a little bit?
So the RSI, for example, it measures the magnitude of recent price changes.
Okay.
To kind of evaluate, is this thing overbought? Is this thing oversold?
Okay.
So, if you see a high RSI, it might suggest that an altcoin is overvalued. It might be due for a correction.
So like
whereas a low RSI
measure of like how hot
you could think of it.
The market is for that coin.
Like a gauge.
Yeah.
Yeah, a heat gauge for the market. Yeah.
I like that.
And then there's the MACD, which is more of a trend following momentum indicator.
Okay.
So it helps us identify changes in the direction and the strength of an altcoin's price trend.
So we combine all these things together.
Yeah, you can start to
technical indicators.
Piece together this puzzle.
The market sentiment.
Yeah.
We can kind of get a sense of,
using all these
different data points to form a more complete picture.
And maybe predict what's going to happen in the future.
But even with all this, even with all the analysis in the world, predicting the crypto market with certainty is
of course.
Not possible.
Nothing's for certain,
Especially with crypto.
It's a wild beast.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, well, so
yeah.
We've talked about Bitcoin. We've talked about market sentiment.
Yeah.
We've talked about the technical indicators.
Mm-hmm.
Are there any other things that...
So another interesting one is the performance of those smaller emerging altcoins.
Okay.
So those lesser-known coins?
Yeah.
When they start to outperform the more established altcoins, that can actually be a sign that,
the underdogs.
That investors are really seeking those higher risk, higher reward opportunities.
It's interesting.
And that's really a hallmark of Altseason.
Okay, so like they're kind of
front running.
Yeah, the underdogs are making their move.
Yeah. Okay, cool. So we can look for that.
And then another one is the emergence of new narratives and trends within the crypto space.
Yeah.
This could be anything from, the rise of a new blockchain technology to, increased adoption of, decentralized finance applications or DeFi.
So it's not just about...
So it's not just about which coins are pumping.
The coins themselves.
It's about understanding the underlying stories and, the technological advancements that are driving this investor interest.
The story behind the coin.
Yeah, exactly. It's about, recognizing those narratives that are capturing the imagination of the crypto community.
Okay. That's great.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Thanks. All
right. So now that we understand, what Altseason is.
Yeah.
All these different factors that could signal that it's coming.
Exactly.
Let's talk about, how do we actually use this information to make decisions?
So that's a great question.
And I guess that's where the strategy comes in.
Yeah. So we need to start thinking about portfolio diversification.
Okay.
We need to think about, different trading approaches and, what are the tools and resources that can help us, navigate the volatility of Altseason.
All right, perfect. So let's get into that then.
Let's do it.
Let's talk about strategy.
Yeah.
Let's talk about how to make some money.
All right. So when we're talking about, strategy for Altseason diversification is a big one.
Yeah.
And it's not just about, picking a bunch of different coins.
Okay.
It's about strategically allocating your investments across various categories of altcoins.
So it's not just spreading your bets. It's like understanding,
You got to understand the different roles that these coins play,
okay,
in the crypto ecosystem. It's kind of like, assembling a team of specialists,
okay,
each with their own strengths and expertise.
I like that analogy.
Yeah. Okay. So, in the altcoin world, you've got coins that are focused on, infrastructure,
okay,
like Ethereum, Cardano.
Yeah.
These provide the foundation for, building decentralized applications.
So we're looking at the...
Then you've got coins focused on...
underlying technology.
Decentralized finance, DeFi.
Yeah.
Things like APOV and Compound.
Okay.
Which offer, lending, borrowing.
Yeah.
Other financial services without those traditional intermediaries.
So what else? What other categories are there?
Well, you got, privacy coins.
Okay.
Like Monero Zcash.
Yeah.
Which prioritize anonymity and secure transactions.
Okay.
And then there's the whole world of...
infrastructure, DeFi.
Non-fungible tokens. Or NFTs.
Privacy.
Represented by coins like Flow and Tezos.
NFTs, yeah.
Which are used to create and trade, unique digital assets.
That's a whole other conversation.
That's a whole other deep dive.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. But, okay, I see.
So, by diversifying across these different categories, you're not only spreading risk, but also potentially capitalizing on multiple growth opportunities.
So we're not putting all our eggs in one basket.
Exactly.
We're spreading things out.
Yeah, spread it out.
And then making sure that we have,
within each of those categories,
exposure to all the different sectors.
You want to do your research.
Yeah.
Select coins with strong fundamentals active development teams,
Yeah.
a growing community. It's about finding those hidden gems, with real-world utility and the potential for long-term growth.
So we've done all that.
Yeah.
We've, diversified our portfolio.
You've got your research done.
We're feeling good about Altseason.
No, you've diversified.
I think it's coming.
And you're feeling that Altseason vibe.
Yeah. Now, what do we actually do?
Now
the question is, how do you
make money?
Capitalize on this?
Yeah, right.
Do we just hold? Or?
So the strategy you choose
really
depends on
more active stuff we can do.
Your risk tolerance,
okay,
your investment goals, and your time commitment.
Okay.
Some investors, they prefer a more passive buy and hold approach.
Okay.
They believe in the long-term potential of their chosen altcoins.
So that's just like...
This strategy obviously requires patience.
Buy it and forget it.
And, a strong conviction in the underlying technology.
Yeah. But what if I'm like...
For those who are looking to actively capitalize...
More of an active trader.
On those short-term price swings of Altseason.
Yeah, that's me.
Then you have,
What do I do?
More hands-on strategies, like swing trading and day trading.
Okay, swing trade, day trading.
Yeah.
What's the difference?
So swing trading is all about... capturing those medium-term price swings.
Okay.
You're holding positions for, days, weeks, or even months.
Okay.
You're buying when you believe an altcoin is undervalued.
Okay.
Based on, your technical analysis and your market sentiment.
That's a new word.
And then you're selling...
Riding the wave.
When you think it's reached its peak.
Buy at the bottom, sell at the top.
Yeah, aiming to ride those waves of momentum.
Easy peasy.
Yeah.
All right. And then...
Easier said than done.
Day trading.
But yeah.
What's that?
And then you have day trading, which is even more fast-paced.
Okay.
Day traders, they open and close their positions within the same day.
Oh, wow.
They're aiming to profit from those smaller price fluctuations.
Yeah. Okay. So they're constantly monitoring the chart.
Might not be on top of it, analyzing indicators, reacting to news, and events that can, impact the market.
So that's like...
Yeah, it's a lot.
Really high stress, high reward.
Yeah, it's like navigating a speedboat through choppy waters.
Yeah, that's a good analogy.
You got to make those quick maneuvers to avoid those sudden dips and, capitalize on those fleeting opportunities.
Yeah, for sure. And you mentioned earlier crypto scalping.
So scalping.
Is that like even crazier?
Especially during Altseason.
Yeah.
It's not for the faint of heart.
Okay.
It involves making... numerous trades within very short time frames.
Oh, wow.
Sometimes, seconds or minutes.
Okay.
Aiming to profit from those tiny price movements.
Uh-huh.
Scalpers often rely on, advanced charting tools and order types to automate their trades because the speed of execution is crucial.
So is that even
possible
to do as a human, or do you really need like a bot?
It's very difficult to do it manually.
Gotcha.
You really need those tools to help you.
Yeah. That sounds pretty intense.
It is.
I don't think that's for me.
And it's important to note that it carries a high level of risk.
It's a high risk, high reward.
It's not a strategy for beginners.
Oh, sure.
And even, experienced traders can get burned if they're not careful.
Yeah. Okay. So we got diversification. We got all these trading approaches.
We've got our diversification strategy in place.
Buy and hold, day trading, all that stuff.
We've explored, a range of trading approaches from that, patient buy and hold to that adrenaline pumping world of
the tool
crypto scalping.
Like, how do we actually do this stuff?
You're right.
Like, what do we use?
There's more to this than just picking coins and making trades.
Yeah.
You need the right tools and resources.
Give us some names.
There are...
Like using.
Fantastic trading platforms out there.
Okay.
That offer a wide range of features.
Yeah.
Real-time price charts, advanced order types, portfolio tracking tools even.
Okay, what are some of the
best ones out there? So some of the, the most popular and well-regarded platforms include Binance Kraken and Coinbase Pro.
Okay, I've heard of those.
Binance is known for its, vast selection of altcoins.
Yeah.
It's very robust trading features.
Okay.
Kraken offers a more, secure and regulated environment.
Okay.
And Coinbase Pro is a good option for, those starting out, user-friendly interface, strong reputation. So it's about,
Different options for
choosing the right platform.
Different folks.
That aligns with your experience level, your trading style, your specific needs.
So we got our platforms.
Yeah, and then beyond the trading platforms themselves, there are also analytical tools that can help you, really dig deeper into the data, identify those potential trading opportunities. One of the most widely used is TradingView.
Okay. Yeah.
It offers a wealth of features, real-time charts, technical indicators, even backtesting tools.
What's backtesting?
That allow you to test your trading strategies against historical data.
Oh, that's good.
So it's kind of like having a virtual trading lab where you can experiment and refine your approach before, putting real money on the line.
That's great.
And then...
So like a simulator.
Yeah, okay, cool. A simulator, yeah, exactly.
So we got our platforms, we got our tools.
And don't underestimate the power of the crypto community itself.
Okay, yeah.
Following industry experts on Twitter.
Yeah.
Subscribing to reputable crypto newsletters. Engaging in online forums can provide some really invaluable insights.
Yeah. Learn from the best.
Help you stay ahead of the curve.
Right. So platforms, tools.
So it's about tapping into that collective intelligence.
Community. We're all set.
Learning from the experiences of others.
Right. Sounds good.
Yeah, but
well, always remember.
I know you're big on risk management.
Do your own research.
Yeah, of course.
And don't blindly follow the crowd.
All right, so
we're in the middle of Altseason.
Yeah, so we've got our diversification strategy.
Things are going crazy.
We've got our trading approaches. We've got our toolkit. Of platforms, analytical resources, community insights.
How do we not?
Sounds like we're ready to ride this altcoin wave.
Lose all our money.
But you're right. We can't just...
The advice there.
Focus on, the potential profits without acknowledging the inherent risks.
Okay.
Altseason, while exciting, can be a wild ride.
Yeah.
And it's important to protect ourselves from the downside.
Okay, so what are the things we need to be aware of?
Let's talk about the darker side of Altseason.
Risks.
What are the biggest risks?
What can we do?
We need to be aware of.
Mitigate them.
And how can we mitigate them? I think the most important thing to remember is that altcoins are inherently more volatile than Bitcoin.
So even more than the regular crypto market.
Yeah, precisely.
Okay.
While they offer incredible upside potential during Altseason, they can also experience, dramatic price swings.
Yeah.
Sometimes within, a matter of hours.
Oh, wow.
So
that's really life.
Yeah, risk management is paramount.
High risk, high reward.
Especially during, a period of heightened market activity.
Okay, so how do we protect ourselves?
Like Altseason.
Yeah, what are the things that we can do?
So first and foremost, never invest more than you can afford to lose.
Okay. Yeah.
This might sound like a cliche.
Yeah.
But it's the golden rule of investing.
Right.
Especially in a market as unpredictable as cryptocurrency.
Yeah, it's easy to get caught up in the excitement and the FOMO.
Yeah, you got to
think that,
stay grounded.
You're going to get rich quick.
Remember, there are no guarantees in this space.
Right. Okay.
And beyond that, that fundamental principle.
Besides not investing more than we can afford to lose.
There are specific tools and techniques that can help us manage risk.
Yeah. What are those?
One of the most effective is setting stop-loss orders.
Okay, yeah. You mentioned those earlier.
Yeah.
Can you...
So stop-loss order...
Remind me how those work.
Is essentially an automated sell order that triggers when the price of an altcoin falls below a certain threshold that you set.
So it's like...
So it's like an insurance policy.
Taking the emotion out of it.
Yeah, you could think of it that way.
Yeah, okay.
It helps you stay disciplined and avoid those... emotionally driven decisions that can often lead to, bigger losses.
Okay, and what about dollar cost averaging?
Another strategy is to practice dollar cost averaging.
Yeah.
Especially if you're new to Altseason.
Okay.
Or have a lower risk tolerance.
How does that work?
So dollar cost averaging involves investing a fixed amount of money at regular intervals.
Okay.
Regardless of the current price.
So instead of trying to
time the market perfectly, you're spreading out your investments over time.
Okay.
Potentially, smoothing out those price fluctuations.
Gotcha.
And potentially lowering your average cost per coin.
Just buy a little bit each week or whatever.
It's a more gradual approach.
Right.
Less about chasing those quick gains.
Yeah.
More about, building a position over the long haul.
Okay.
And it's a strategy that can be applied during any market condition.
Right.
Not just alt season.
Alt season.
It's a fundamental principle of sound investing.
Okay. That makes sense.
Yeah.
Um,
So that's all great advice for, people who've been in the space for a while.
Yeah, those are
But what about somebody who's
some great tips for seasoned investors.
brand new,
But what about those who are, they're hearing about alt season?
just dipping their toes into the crypto waters?
They want to get involved.
What advice would you give to newcomers?
Yeah, what should they do?
Who are intrigued by alt season, but also a bit intimidated by the risks?
Yeah, for sure.
I think first and foremost, don't get overwhelmed.
Okay.
The crypto world can seem complex and daunting at first.
Yeah.
But it's all about taking it one step at a time.
Okay.
Start by educating yourself about the fundamentals of blockchain technology and the different categories of altcoins.
Okay.
Explore reputable resources, industry blogs, educational websites.
What about like the communities online? Are those good?
Even online courses.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
The crypto community is incredibly welcoming and supportive.
Okay, that's good to hear.
So do your research. And there's a wealth of knowledge to be gained from connecting with others.
Don't get overwhelmed.
Exactly.
Start small.
So, yeah, do your research.
What's the next step?
Don't feel pressured to jump in head first.
Yeah.
Once you feel comfortable with the basics,
Okay.
choose a reputable exchange like the ones we discussed earlier, and start by investing a small amount that you're comfortable with losing.
Right.
It's all about dipping your toes in the water before you take the plunge.
Okay.
And remember, every trade is a learning opportunity.
Yeah.
Don't be afraid to make mistakes.
Yeah.
That's how you gain experience and become a smarter investor.
So it's all part of the...
So, yeah, it's all part of the journey, the ups and downs, the wins and losses.
The downs, yeah.
It's about learning, adapting, and hopefully coming out ahead in the long run.
That's right.
Okay,
well...
remember, the crypto world is constantly evolving.
This has been a fantastic deep dive.
So continuous learning is essential.
I feel like I've learned a lot.
For staying ahead of the curve.
I hope our listeners have too.
Yeah, I think we've
covered a lot of ground today.
We covered a lot of, from understanding the dynamics of alt season.
Yeah.
And recognizing its potential signs.
Sure.
To developing a strategy, managing risk, and even offering guidance for newcomers.
Yeah.
It's been an incredibly insightful deep dive.
It really has.
I've enjoyed it.
So I guess as we wrap up here,
we
just a final thought for you and for our listeners.
Okay.
Now that you understand the dynamics of alt season, what altcoins are you most curious about exploring and why?
Oh, that's a good one.
Maybe it's a coin that, aligns with your interests or a technology that you find particularly intriguing. Share your thoughts on our social media channels.
Okay.
And let's keep this conversation going.
Sounds good.
Until next time, happy investing.
Yeah.
And remember, always do your own research.
Absolutely.